All right, guys, it looks like we're live. Today we'll be answering extreme trigger warning, first of all. The controversial question, can black people really swim? It came up in Natalie's chat today, so we're going to address it head on, and I'm not going to until it's over. And even then, I might not say anything. If I know what's good for me, right? Okay. So we're going to watch the shorter videos first because of my attention span, and then we're going to watch the comprehensive one if I am still interested in the topic by the end. So we're shooting for 20 to 30 minutes max, 10 minutes minimum. Questions, comments, criticisms, I'll answer them all. If I don't see it right away, I'm off doing something or in La La Land, but I do care, and I will get back to you guys. All right. Make my little morning witch's brew drink.
It has been said that black people can't swim simply because our bones are too dense. That is simply, absolutely false.
Do it out here. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. You guys can vacation different now. Yes. Okay.
After I jumped, she said, your boyfriend would be so proud of you. And it made me instantly tear up because, yeah, because I know that he would.
You have a few graduates today.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Polana, the founder of Black People Will Swim, and I'm gonna give you an inside look on what our swim classes are like. Come on in.
Good. Kick. Point your toes. Good job.
We noticed that this was a demand in our community, that more black people and people of color really wanted to know how to swim. And so from there, got the ball rolling and we started Black People Will Swim.
Came in as a novice swimmer, and now I'm an expert now. I feel like if any of my family members drowning, I want to be able to jump in with confidence and save them.
I'm from an island, but I didn't know how to swim, and I got teased a lot about it. And it was also something that was on my bucket list.
It's great for our community to know that there's an organization that understands our history, and they're doing something about it.
Study shows, history shows that black people do not have access to pools, and most importantly, clean pools, right? That's one. Two, affordability. Swimming is a really expensive sport. And three, education. There is a lack of education when it comes down to swimming in the African American community. You want to make sure that you are educated.
It's no more expensive than anything else. You can always work out a payment plan with your monthly fees and stuff, but it's the same price as any sport. Golf, tennis, checkers and chess might be cheaper. That's not a sport. That's a board game. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I knew there was something about relating to segregation. So just because you hear the word stereotype, you don't have to run and go hide, shiver under a rock. Pull apart what that person is trying to convey. They're not necessarily just trying to be racist right out of the gate. Use discernment and discretion and take everything on its own terms. I'm going to shut up. Hey, sweetheart. Hey now.
Educating yourself, providing you with the necessary skills and knowledge to save your life and possibly someone else's. Really, the most dangerous person is someone who's drowning, because they will pull you down to save themselves, okay? All right, who's my victim? Oh my God, okay. Oh my God, grab the noodle, grab it. Okay, are you okay?
walk to shore. Okay?
Are you okay? Black people will swim 4 pillars. It comes down to face. F is for fun.
Hey, baby, king! Go, king! King! I'm kicking! Out your nose. Keep going. Keep out your nose. Keep going. The whole time. She's like, I'm like, no, out your nose.
A is for awareness.
You want to make sure that whenever water's in your face, you still want to maintain that same composure.
See how I'm splashing Yolanda?
C is for community.
Yes, who's a certified swimmer?
And then E is for education.
Make sure you hold her right here and then wait till somebody come, but you're on your chest.
Come on. Ah, you almost there. Right, there we go. And do it out here.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about. You guys should be proud of yourselves, you know? You guys can vacation different now. Okay, no more sitting by the pool. We're gonna be swimming in the pool.
This means everything to me. Now I can brag about it to my friends and especially my family.
I went on a trip with my boyfriend to Antigua. He was snorkeling and I was still on a boat, and he's like, you got to really learn how to swim. So he paid for it and signed me up. And unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, my boyfriend passed away from an asthma attack, and I wasn't going to come to the classes. I forced myself to come because he paid for it. He wanted me to do it. And after I jumped, she said, your boyfriend would be so proud of you. And it made me instantly tear up because I know that he would.
Get out!
Okay, what do you guys think so far? Did you learn something new that you haven't? I sure did. I was gonna say something. Oh, when I teach lifeguard, or when I was a lifeguard, I was teaching swim class. Like there was some news story about they penalized some Olympic swimmer because her bathing suit was riding too far up her rear end when she got out of the water. And then they tried to make it a race thing. They said because she was black, they have curvier bodies, they were just racist or whatever. I'm here to tell you, I want to be accurate. 90% of the women, before they got out of the water, they would wedge their bathing suit up their butt before they got out to show off what they had. And I'm talking literally all of them, 9 out of 10. That's not literally all, but you know, it wasn't just like, and you wouldn't, it's not like common knowledge, but I guess there's a lot of societal pressure. But these were good girls too. They weren't like loose hussies or whatever. They just wanted to look good. They wore the one-piece streamline with the high-waisted hips cut out, you know.
Get out! Get out now! There's 3 numbers I could dial. 911. Okay?
Labor Day means the end of swimming season, and a chance to reflect on yet another year of blatant prejudice at pools all across America.
We are the only black people out here, and as soon as we walked up, she had something to say.
I'm just here with my baby, swimming.
This is an American tradition that goes back almost 100 years.
Cleaning chemicals inside the pool in an effort to get the Negroes to leave.
During the 1920s and 1930s, when cities opened up large resort-like pools, they permitted males and females to use them together. And it was at that point that white swimmers and public officials imposed racial segregation. Most whites did not want black men to interact with white women at such intimate public spaces.
Legally, pools were desegregated after World War II, sometimes by court order. But integration on paper is one thing, cultural integration is another. And just like what happened in public schools, a lot of white people rejected it. And that prejudice created a stereotype.
Swimming became broadly popular within white communities, and it was passed down from generation to generation. Because of African Americans' more restricted access, swimming did not become a broadly popular activity among black families within black communities.
My grandparents couldn't swim because of segregation. When I was growing up, the only access I had to a pool was for summer camp.
Desria Holmes made swimming a priority for her family. Her daughter Madison and her son Mason are both enrolled in a program launched by USA Swimming that aims to get a more diverse group of young people in the water.
3, flip, go!
64% of black kids have little to no swimming ability, compared to 40% of white kids. And this has real consequences. A CDC report found that black kids are 5.5 times more likely to drown in a swimming pool than white kids.
When I saw the opportunity for my daughter to swim, and then my parents were able to see their granddaughter swim, they were actually crying because no one in our family swims like Madison. No one.
You can't really escape water no matter where you go. Swimming changed my life a lot. It taught me that I can be who I want to be. I don't have to be afraid of others, that I can do anything I really want to do.
Children, they either wrestle or play football or do some type of athleticism. And Madison is like, but I'm a swimmer. I'm different.
Yeah, swimming's unique because it's super low resistance. Like you can't really hurt yourself. Well, you could pull a muscle in some ways. But it's very challenging enough to where you can get good at to the point where you're just noticeably a lot better than where you started, and you can see your progress and chart it, So it is very rewarding. I was thinking about that first time I was thrown in the water and I just sank like a bowling ball. And I because treading water, once you know how to do it, it's the easiest thing in the world. And you just feel like you're born knowing it, like it's an instinctual thing, but not necessarily. But it's very relaxing. You just move in very deliberate, slow motions.
You've probably heard the stereotype.
Black people.
Black people.
Black people.
Black people just can't swim. For generations, this has been an all too familiar tale within the Black community. But here's something you may not know. Black children are drowning at 3 times the rate of white children, and years of racial segregation in America's pools may be to blame. In the United States, 64% of Black children can't swim.
My son, Genesis Holmes, was only 13 years old. He wanted to swim with his friends.
In May 2014, police reported to a scene near a local high school in the small town of Hollywood, South Carolina. An unidentified teen was found floating in a pond off Highway 162. Dive and rescue teams scoured the area and recovered the body of Genesis Holmes.
Genesis didn't make it back out because Genesis didn't know how to swim. All our life, most of us, honestly, we was told to stay from the water. It's like a family tradition that they had from generation to the next generation. So I taught my children to stay away from water. Genesis had so much plans. He had great plans for his life.
Genesis's death is reflective of a darker trend of accidental drownings across the country. In the U.S., more than 10 people die from drowning each day. 1 in 5 of those deaths are children between the ages of 1 and 14, and most of those deaths are disproportionately Black. So why is this happening? And why are Black children drowning at such high rates? We tapped University of Montana history professor Jeff Wiltsey to talk about racism and the social history that shaped America's first public pools.
The very first public pools were located exclusively in large northeastern cities, Philadelphia, Boston, New York. They were all in poor neighborhoods, what we'd call urban slums.
For the poor children of New York, $1 million swimming pool. A luxury summer resort for the kids of the sweltering tenements and slums on East Side.
where poor and working class immigrants, native-born African Americans lived. And that's the population that they were intended to serve. Sort of dirty working class boys and young men would plunge into the pool and then clean themselves in the water of the pool. It was essentially served as a large bathtub.
That's right. The first public pools were not only racially inclusive, but they served as bathhouses for the poor, who often swam nude. For this reason, public pools originally prohibited men and women from swimming together. But after World War I, that all changed. After the war, Americans were earning more and working less. To give you a sense, the average work week went from 59 hours before the war to 51 hours after the war. This gave Americans a lot more time to enjoy leisure activities like swimming, and eventually opened the door for new mixed-gender pools.
And it's the point at which a city gender integrates, allows males and females to use the same pool at the same time, that cities and white swimmers impose racial segregation. In a nutshell, the basic reason was, white public officials and white swimmers would not allow black men to interact with white women at such an intimate public space.
Racial discrimination became normalized and institutionalized across the country. From the north to the south, white-only pools became hallmarks for racial exclusion, and they would stay that way until the 60s. Southern cities used Jim Crow laws to enforce segregation in pools and other public spaces, while northern cities used intimidation and violence to keep blacks out. All the while, local chapters of the NAACP worked to file lawsuits against neighborhood pools and beaches that denied blacks access. Pools went from being places for leisure to racial battlegrounds, and it would take 2 protests in Florida to change that.
What are you prepared to do now, Dr. King?
Well, we will stand here and protest what we feel is a blatant injustice.
On June 11, 1964, police arrested Dr. Martin Luther King and more than a dozen religious leaders after they staged a protest against racial segregation at the Monson Motor Lodge in St. Augustine, Florida. His arrest inspired others to act. Less than a week later, 16 rabbis joined a group of black and white protesters at the same hotel. As the rabbis prayed on the property, protesters jumped into a white-only pool to stage a swim-in. What happened next sent shockwaves across the country. That's the Motor Lodge hotel owner, James Brooke, pouring acid into the pool to get protesters out. Media reports of the story sparked enough outrage to gain the attention of then-President Lyndon B. Johnson. Some activists even say it influenced Johnson to sign the Civil Rights Act less than a month later.
All men are entitled to the blessings of liberty, yet millions are being deprived of those blessings, not because of their own failures, but because of the color of their skin.
The bill outlawed segregation based on race, color, religion, or sex, a notion that until that point was common practice throughout most of the country. And while several places across the U.S. had already begun desegregating public spaces, by the time the Civil Rights Act was passed, it was too late. After World War II, white Americans left cities for the suburbs in pursuit of the highly commercialized American dream. You know the whole car, white picket fence, home in the suburbs. Now you might be thinking, what does white flight have to do with black people swimming? Well, the answer is a lot. Once white Americans left for the suburbs, cities throughout the country stopped investing in the upkeep of their public pools. So when blacks and other minorities finally regained access after the Civil Rights Act, most of them had already closed.
Tens of thousands of private club pools developed in suburban communities, and what that enables suburban communities to do, members to do, is to control who has access to those pools and who they determined would not have access to those pools and the swim lessons that occurred at those pools.
Today, gentrification is the driving modern-day pool segregation. So in other words, it isn't so much your race that determines your likelihood of being able to swim, but your class. For example, affluent suburban communities are far more likely to have access to pools than their city counterparts. Look at the numbers, and you can see why. There are more than 10 million residential pools compared to the 300,000 public pools across the country. On top of that, public pools are disappearing. Since 2009, more than 1,800 public pools have closed across the country. Some rural towns like Hollywood, South Carolina, where Genesis Holmes lived, never even opened one.
Genesis cried out for help because he didn't know how to swim. If me and my husband had gave him
What's
swim
up,
lesson,
big man? How's it going?
Genesis would have made it out.
Junkyard dog, my
After
man.
Genesis's death, Jennifer Holmes couldn't stop thinking about the what-ifs. What if she had learned how to swim? What if Genesis had swim lessons? That's when she came up with an idea.
Being that I lost.
We are learning about black people today and seeing if they can really swim or not. Because we were in a chat and nobody could figure it out. Nobody wanted to say one way or the other for appearing as a stereotyped racist or whatever, you know.
Our baby, I had to do something to where that I could let others know how important water safety is, that what we were taught is not good for us, and why it's important to learn how to swim, to help reduce drowning out in the rural area.
And she didn't stop there. Holmes became a lifeguard and raised more than $15,000 for the Genesis Project to bring swimming lessons to black children in her small town. It wouldn't take long before the rest of the community noticed. After hearing about Genesis, the Charleston County Parks Foundation gave Holmes $3 million towards opening the town's first public pool, the Genesis Pool.
We should rejoice this day that many lives will learn how to swim. We honor Genesis Holmes, and we honor all that went this tragic way. We don't care where you're from. You are welcome to learn about water safety. Thank you. When Genesis was about 5-6 years old, he told me about amazing vision that he had, that he was sitting in a palm of a man's hand and it was huge. Mom, I'm gonna do big things. You know? It's like, Genesis, come on, you're 5-6 years old, big things. He said, yes, Mom, you should have saw his hands. His hand was so amazing. I was sitting in the clouds. And when they told me that Genesis and his friends were swimming, and Genesis didn't made out, my life changed. Our life changed. And all I can remember is that Genesis said, Mom, I'm going to help many people. And so many people is going to know my name.
We get down to the beat, y'all. We get down to the beat, y'all.
Okay,
Hello
this one might
and
be
welcome
redundant.
back. In this
if
Black
you watch from
Excellence
the beginning, but
presentation, we will
it's very
address the
thorough.
cliche, Black people can't swim.
Welcome to Black Excellence. This is where we celebrate Black excellence, achievement, and affluence. Our mission is to inspire you as we enlighten you.
We all have heard the age-old stereotype and running joke, Black people can't swim. The stereotype is false but persistent. However, Black people can swim, and Black people want to swim. But why are we not known to be swimmers is a reflection of a history of fear, politics, and economics, which we will take time to dive into. Studies have shown that almost 60% of African American children do not know how to swim. And when we pinpoint households where the median income is less than $50,000, the number is more like 80%.
But what are the underlying factors? First, we need to examine our African culture to understand our true historical relationship with water. For centuries, Africans were renowned for their aquatic culture. The African continent is blessed with a plethora of rivers, lakes, and oceans. The Africans who lived along the coastlines and these bodies of water may very well have been some of the world's strongest swimmers. A strong swimming culture on the continent was not only a way of life and recreation, but also a means of hunting and survival. At their first encounter with sub-Saharan Africans in the 1400s, European explorers found a culturally aquatic people who learned to swim in the coastal and river villages of West Africa, both men and women, as soon as they could walk. It is well documented that prior to the slave trade, Africans living near water had a tradition of swimming. Africans were skilled watermen who had established navy fleets. But during the era where mass human trafficking through enslavement began, the sea and waterways represented danger. A traumatic 5-century historical event, such as the enslavement of Africans, prevented an established swimming culture to continue to develop and thrive. It is estimated that over 80% of Africans who survived the slave trade and reached the United States could swim. Enslaved Africans in the Americas were then banned from teaching their children how to swim. Slave owners would often make up superstitions about the water being a site for witchcraft, sea monsters, or instill a fear in drowning in order to keep the enslaved men, women, and children from going near the ocean. There should be little doubt that this fear and trauma has been passed down from generation to generation. Many people across the globe believe water is a symbol of life because it's closely associated with birth and rejuvenation. However, for many African Americans, water represents one of the largest collective traumas we have experienced in the Western Hemisphere. But it is the American swimming pools that offers its own impactful and effective history lesson on why Black people can't swim. During the pool building spree of 1920s and into the 1930s, swimming pools were being built everywhere, except in the Black communities. These gender-integrated pools attracted literally millions and millions of swimmers, meeting the demand for outdoor recreational activities while hosting national Learn to Swim campaigns. But since these pools were racially segregated, Black Americans were not given the access or opportunity. Moreover, segregationists created an ongoing narrative that Black people were dirty, diseased, or otherwise infectious, and that sharing water with them was risky and deadly. It's unfortunate that these social and political factors converged at a time when the American swimming movement was flourishing, resulting in Black kids missing out. The history of exclusion in American swimming pools boils down to swimming pools being very intimate spaces. One could argue that the primary and the most crucial cause for racial segregation of the American swimming pool was due to concerns around interracial marriage. Most of white America at the time did not want Black men in particular to have access to or be in close proximity with white women. In an era where physical fitness mattered, muscular Black men threatened the delusion of white male superiority. These images and the prospect of interracial marriages played into a psychology of needing to separate Black men from white women. When cities began to integrate in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, city governments and municipalities could no longer segregate the pools. The legal system or court order would help ensure that the public pool was open to both Black and white citizens without discrimination. But what history taught us is that city after city and pool after pool, the overall attendance to the pool plummeted. The majority of whites who had been using the pool before literally abandoned the pools almost overnight. But it's very important to look at the adjacent and very much intertwined migration event called white flight. White folks who didn't want to live next to Black people began to make a mass exodus, leaving urban centers, heading for the suburbs. After white flight, municipalities were less inclined to build swimming pools and city governments began to pull funding. What was a very high public priority now mysteriously became too expensive to build, too expensive to maintain, and too expensive to staff. And so relatively poor people, especially people living in large inner cities, would be given much less access to swimming pools than other urban Americas in the previous 100 years. But white America did not stop swimming due to white flight. They just chose to swim elsewhere. After the civil rights movement and desegregation, white families who had recently moved to the suburbs began building their own private pools in the backyard of their individual family homes. The legacy of this phenomenon is one that works to the advantage of white middle and upper class Americans who have access to private pools. The privatization of the pool reached new heights with an increase in private country clubs and sports facilities patronized by the wealthy and private memberships that were disproportionately white. Pools were also erected at hotels, private schools, and beach resorts where access was restricted, further alienating Black people from the friendly waters. With privately built club pools, at-home residential pools, and private swimming events at lakes and quarries, discrimination could be legally practiced and Black Americans would face even bigger barriers. These factors combined help shape swimming into a summer activity for the elite with a country club culture. But are we surprised? America has a long history of exclusion based on economics and color that has influenced who has access to luxury and recreation. Swimming in America just became another liberty that white America could leverage to isolate themselves from the larger public. At the turn of the century, when Black America did visit or patronize pools and beaches, they were sometimes met with violence or even death. As a form of intimidation, white swimmers and even the police would literally beat Black swimmers out of the water as a means of segregating pools. In 1960, a series of wade-in protests on the beaches of Biloxi, Mississippi resulted in Bloody Wade-In Day. 125 Black men, women, and children who gathered on the beach were attacked by a huge mob of white segregationists. In 1964, Black and white protesters jumped into a whites-only designated pool at a hotel in St. Augustine, Florida. The hotel manager, in an effort to force them out, poured jugs of acid into the pool and called the police to arrest them. But these were not isolated incidents. Pools and beaches all over America, including Miami, St. Louis, Chicago, and Santa Monica, would become battlegrounds for equal rights. The message to the Black community was clear. People of color were not welcome at public recreational areas and swimming pools. And it's true today as much as it was back then. Swimming pools have become landmines of controversy and a breeding ground for racism. We all have seen the poolside Karen confrontations, one after another.
I should have told you I was going to cover this topic.
Black swimmers are harassed and even assaulted.
Very timely.
Many Black Americans choose not to swim because they simply do not want to deal with the disrespect and prejudices at these swimming facilities. And to that end, Blacks will simply avoid them.
Can you tell I have
Unlike
ADHD?
the UK, where learning to swim is enshrined in the national curriculum,
I don't even
the
realize
US
I am
government
sometimes,
and
but I
school
have to.
systems
Helps me pay
across the
attention.
nation have not implemented a mandatory part of the curriculum for teaching kids water safety. In the UK, all primary school
I'm your
children
hero.
have to be able to swim 25 meters and are taught water safety as a vital life skill. Here in the US, however, the school systems do not teach children to swim or emphasize the skills needed to perform self-rescue in different water-based situations. The
I'm gonna
ultimate
dance extra
responsibility
devilish for my
kids learning
haters
to
now.
swim
Yuck, yuck.
lies with their parents. But many Black parents are not teaching their children to swim because they don't know how to swim themselves. And it's not just because of lack of money or lack of access, but the reality is more complex. Fear of drowning
I can
or fear of
hypnotize you with my
injury
wang
is the
from
biggest
side to
scare.
side, baby.
Parents who don't know how to swim are very
That's too
likely to
scandalous.
not only pass on their inability to swim to their kids, but they'll also pass on their overwhelming fear of deep water. And because Black Americans still spend a significant amount of time around pools and other water recreational activities, parents should learn to swim and at the very least enroll their children into a swimming program. We hope that more Black parents will make learning to swim a priority for their kids. It's not only a matter of life or death, but it will only open up more doors to a lifetime of fun, fitness, and even employment opportunities. As well as the fear factor, studies have also found that African Americans avoid swimming because of the negative impacts it has on their appearance. Blacks far more than whites or Hispanics express concern that chlorinated water causes damage to their health, skin, and their hair.
Since asthma and eczema affects African American kids disproportionately, there is widespread concern that recreational swimming only makes matters worse. However, swimming is a preferred activity for those with asthma since it's associated with a range of physical and mental health benefits. But let's talk about our hair. Black women have a complex and intimate relationship with their hair. The time, effort, and money invested to get a certain hairstyle is just far too great to throw it all away on a swimming outing. Many African American women who regularly visit beauty salons or wear their hair chemically straightened or relaxed will avoid swimming pools at all costs. "I'm not trying to get my hair wet" is the usual sentiment.
What?
Due to an accumulation of all these factors and variables we've mentioned, swimming just never became a part of African American recreational culture. The convenient access the white community had to pools and the development of their swimming skills has led to successive generations of white swimmers. White parents learn to swim as toddlers. They then teach their toddlers how to swim, practice water safety, and to be competitive. Black children and teens who do not know how to swim and have a fear of water become parents of children who do not know how to swim and develop a fear of water, thereby reinforcing the stereotypes and myths that Black individuals do not swim. We hope to see swimming passed down to the next generation so it can be introduced as a new piece of Black culture. We find joy in the innovation that some Black parents and grandparents are using to expose their kids to swimming, even if it means booking a room at a hotel with a swimming pool. The legacy of segregation has whitewashed the American swimming experience and has attempted to convince Black people that swimming is just not for them. After decades of discrimination and other historical events, the stigma has been widely accepted by both sides. The cultural perception that Black people can't swim will be slowly dismantled as more and more African Americans take to the pool or beach, learn how to swim, and incorporate water activities into the fabric of Black American culture. And we look forward to the summer days that you can confidently take your kids to the beach or the pool, and they can look at their friends and boldly say, "I can swim."
You can do it. You can do it all night long.
We appreciate the fact that you stayed until the end. Thank you for spending time with us, and don't forget to like this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so that you never miss a video. Bye for now. We will see you tomorrow.
Those be ringing with my diamond rings. Oh,
Maybe it's because there's something in the air.
for certain races, no. Oh no, they did mention that. I was gonna get angry for a second.
It isn't fair.
They said 5 times more African American deaths. You can't even say African American. That's one of the no words. That used to be the best word, the least offensive, right? And now it's like moved up a couple ranks, notches. I don't get it. But no, I never saw any big penises. There's a transition for you. In my lifeguard and gym days, like I could count on one hand the big schlongs, and I saw there was just as many small black dots. I tried not to look, but I couldn't help but notice the microscopicness. But some people don't know about growers versus showers. That's not common knowledge. You've all heard the term, but mine starts out the smallest in the absolute world, and it grows to thick, long supremioid. But if you look at it, you would never think it could. It literally gets 37 times bigger, or even more than that, because it doesn't seem like the skin would stretch and then the whole thing would fill to be so gargantuan. But a lot of guys are like that, so you just see them in their natural state and they're just chilling at 1 inch or 2, They drop to the bottom of the pool and then. Oh my gosh, come on. Oh, I'm a grower and I'm a Supremo Triple XL Deluxe Supreme Deluxe with onions and sour cream on the side. Yeah, no, I see. I hate to say that. Oh, I hate to say, but it's got a big cock. Oh. I can't keep it inside any longer. Oh. But no, I'm a gentleman and a scoundrel, so I try not to bring it up unless somebody says, "Let's see that big old freaking dongalingo," and I just say, "Washuko." There it is. No, there's only like maybe 4 or 5 women that have seen my penis, and one of my exes shared it with like a bunch of chicks. So. But there's unflattering pics of me out there that make me look super minuscule. So the trolls kind of ran with that too. I'm like, no. No, but like if you see a guy with a big dong, or let's say he's got just 4 inches of hang, well, usually that'll just stand up and only gain another ½ inch or 1 inch. So you think it's going to double in size, but it doesn't. And then if it's bigger, sometimes it'll just stand up without gaining any size at all. There's a ton of scenarios I've seen with friends like that. So, because I had one friend, everyone was impressed because he would just get nude and streak, and he looked like he had a big dick, but that was as big as it got when it was showtime, you know. But I still believe in foreplay. I love to prolong the magic. That's why people think I'm gay, because I'm romantic. Careless whisper. Oh, I can't give. I've got Natty voice. You know, I caught whatever she's got through the computer. I guess you just inspired me, Ginger. You kind of wrenched it right out of me, boy. Do you partake of the devil's lettuce or booze or anything? I pretty much stopped drinking in my 20s. I was spending my whole paycheck. I went to Bevmo, and I would just get all the mixers and all the spirits and all the fruity, crappy stuff and just mix it into a big witch's vat, you know. Oh, thank you, and have a great day. Yeah, I got some spring in my step. And what was I doing? Oh, yeah. So there was my educational stream, even though I'm the worst reaction streamer ever. I don't pay attention. I oftentimes don't care. And I don't really have anything to pontificate on after it's done because I haven't listened to it. They kind of go hand in hand. But I'm going to do some reactions to like 3-minute videos because I think I can handle that. Because I did good when I cried at that stupid movie. So it's just a brilliant movie. I thought that was funny because I could laugh about it after the fact. But while I was in it, I was like, this is embarrassing. Anyway. No karaoke for like a week or 2 until my stupid voice comes back. I'm not holding out much hope because I feel myself hitting a wall. Like I could picture the note in my head, the high note, but I'm just not coming close. And so I'm going to try to keep up on guitar and some other stuff too, but it's going to be tough.